Welcome back to Hannity. We are back in Washington, D.C. We are outside the White House, and today, during my sit-down interview with our 45th president, Donald Trump, well, I asked him about the threat of radical Islam and how he plans to defeat it. And here's what he told me. One of the problems we have is evil in our time.
True.
Winston Churchill dealt with evil in his time.
Yeah, that's true.
Roosevelt dealt with evil in his time. My father fought in World War II.
But they had evil with uniforms on.
That's true. Okay? This is different.
We have evil that lurks around the corner without the uniforms. Ours is harder because the people that we're going against, they don't wear uniforms. They're sneaky, dirty rats. And they blow people up in a shopping center. And they blow people up in a church. These are bad people. When you're fighting Germany and they had their uniforms, and Japan and they had their uniforms, and they had their flags on the plane and the whole thing, we are fighting sneaky rats right now that are sick and demented, and we're going to win.
Waterboarding black sites came up in your interview last night, and I was thinking, if I had an opportunity to speak with David Muir, I'd say, okay, two guys go into your house, they kidnap your child, one guy gets away with your child, you tackle the other guy. That guy knows where your child is. Would you not waterboard that guy?
So waterboarding used to be used because they said it really wasn't torture. It was the one step slightly below torture. That's why waterboarding.
That's why it was legal.
I mean, torture is real torture. Okay, waterboarding is, I'm sure it's not pleasant, but waterboarding was just short of torture. When, you know, all of a sudden they made it torture. So here's the story. Look, I spoke with people the other day who are in this world that we're talking about. They said, absolutely it works. Absolutely. Now, General Mattis said that he doesn't intend to use it. I'm with him all the way. Do I believe it works? Yes, I do.
Well, we actually know it works. I interviewed, there were only 3 people that America waterboarded. One of them was Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
Right.
That led us to the Courier, which led us to bin Laden, and I know because I talked to the guy that was running the program at the time.
In my opinion, it works.
All right. I want to ask about...
Do you have even a doubt that it works?
None.
Neither do I.
None. Not one.
And I watch these people on television. Oh, Donald Trump's in favor of torture. Look, we have people that knock down the World Trade Center. We have people that go into a club and they blow everyone up.
We both lost friends that day.
Everybody did. Thousands of people. We have people all over the world we're talking about. We're not just talking, we're talking all over the world. They go into a club and they machine gun everybody down, and then we're not allowed to waterboard? It seems so foolish and so naive, but this is what we have to put up with. But here's the story.
I would ask David Muir, if they kidnapped your kid, and you had one of the kidnappers, what would you do to get the location of your child?
Or do you want him to talk in 48 hours from now by being nice to him? Okay?
It's over.
Okay?
At that point.
And by that time, it's too late. So, I'm not into it. I will tell you, though, it works. And I just spoke to people who told me it worked, and that's what they do.
I spoke to the guy that ran the program and saw the waterboarding of those 3 people. Let me ask you this. I'll go through these very quickly, the countries that you're going to be dealing with now. Israel, one of our closest partners.
Right.
Prime Minister Netanyahu is coming. One of the big issues is the embassy, Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. How important is it to repair this relationship, and what about that move of the embassy?
It's repaired.
It's repaired already?
Got repaired as soon as I took
Within 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's repaired. We have a good relationship. Israel's been treated very badly. We have a good relationship with
Israel. And you're holding back the money, the last-minute money that President Obama gave to the Palestinians?
We're going to see what happens, yeah. I don't want to talk about it.
Where do you stand on the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem?
I don't want to talk about it yet.
Not yet?
It's too early, no.
Okay. How about, I know you spoke to General al-Sisi. Did you ever see the speech that he gave on radical Islam?
Yes.
And do you believe he could be...
We have a very, very good relationship with the general. We're going to have a very good relationship with Egypt. He went into a tough situation, and all I can say is I like him.
Do you trust the Saudis? Over the years, I would argue they've been very duplicitous.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you about that. I don't like talking about how I feel about people because I don't want to be put in that position. I hope I get along with everybody, but it's possible I won't. A lot of money is being spent from certain countries on radicalizing people. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Have you talked to Vladimir Putin yet. So much came up about this. Have you had discussions with him?
Well, no, he called me after I won, but I haven't had a discussion, but I understand we will be having a discussion soon.
How about the leaders of China?
Yes, I have spoken to him, and we have been dealing a little bit with China.
And I know you spoke to the leaders in India. What about Pakistan?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Let me ask this. I think this is important. I actually agree with you wholeheartedly about the Iranian deal. Would you?
Well, I think it's one of the worst deals I've ever seen. And I'm not just talking about
played ransom
deals. No.
Yeah.
I think it's what? How about $1.7 billion? And that was a ransom payment.
Yeah.
In cash. $1.7 billion in cash. But $150 billion. But that's not even the important thing. I think it's one of the worst deals I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And why Kerry didn't get up out of the chair and leave is hard to believe.
Let me ask you about the power of the pardon, which is absolute for a president. One night, I know you were watching my show, and I had the mother of this young sailor who is spending a year in jail because he took 6 pictures for his own use in a submarine, and you were comparing it. Would that be something early on you would consider?
I'm actually looking at it
Christian
right now.
Saucier.
I think it's very unfair in light of what's happened with other people. And I think it's very, very
Did you hear the
unfair.
story of Clint Lawrence, another guy? Got 30 years. He was doing his job, protecting his team in Afghanistan.
We're looking at a
lot of those
few of them. And by the way,
right.
If another event didn't happen, I would look at him. But how can you have somebody else get away with such a tremendous amount, and then this person who takes a picture of his desk on an old submarine? Look, if China or Russia wanted information on that submarine, they've had it for many years. That I can tell you.
When you saw the Women's March this weekend and you hear Madonna say, I thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House. Imagine if I said that when Barack Obama was here.
Honestly, she's disgusting. I think she hurt herself very badly. I think she hurt that whole
cause,
yeah. I thought her, and a couple of others, but I thought she was, in particular, I thought what she said was disgraceful to our country.
Last question, and then you're going to take us to the Oval Office, which is nice. You were very passionate last night about Chicago and about the violence. In the course of Barack Obama's presidency, 4,000 people died, murdered, and another however many thousand were shot. You might go in and help fix it if they can't fix it.
You had many people shot last night. The news this morning is that many, many people were shot last night in Chicago. Chicago is worse than some of the countries you read about in the Middle East where there's wars going on. Mm-hmm. And there's no reason for it.
It's a war zone.
There is no reason for it.